Hello everyone, this is Solaris 290, and this is my review of Kingdom, chapter 544. So, talking about Kingdom, this was a chapter focused, for the most part, on the Hi Shin Unit, particularly after last chapter, which had their grand reveal and their entrance of all 8,000 members of the newly trained Hi Shin Unit ready to go into battle against the Gyou'un army. And just starting off, I like the fact that, again, this chapter basically helps to gauge and show all of the reactions of the newer members, the fresh meat, as it were. And so, in that respect, I like how this chapter simultaneously deconstructs, but then reconstructs, or to put it another way, it subverts and then double subverts our expectations of how these newbies are going to deal with the reality of actual warfare. Now, given we'd seen the reaction of the newer members, particularly Kanto, who is really the focus character here, on how they dealt with actually fighting in a proper battle. But the difference is, Retsby was a siege battle, and they had the support of Yotanwa and the mountain tribes, which really took the edge off it a bit. But here, not only are they in a full plains battle, but they're up against an elite army of a former general of the Three-Gate Heavens, you can really tell that it's going to be quite different. And so we start off with the newer members pretty much freaking out at seeing the battlefield, and having read Kingdom for a long time, I was immediately reminded of Bihei and Bito's reaction when they were just about to go onto the battle all the way back on Dakan Plains. Bihei even threw up. We get the little thoughts of all of them. They're talking about the pressure of the battlefield. This looks absolutely terrifying. And of course, they're criticising Kanto. I still like the fact they kept the nickname that all talk Kanto that Sugen gave him after Retsubi. That's still there. But yeah, ultimately, you'd expect this from these troops, even though they've had their first battle already. This is a different battle. Not all battles are the same after all. And so of course Shin's acting his typical cocky self, trying to provoke Ohon, saying like, oh, you're not going to say even one word of thanks to me? Ohon, who has always never been much of a talker, gets the point across in warning Shin that he had best be on his guard, as the Gyou'un army is a dangerous opponent, and Gyou'un is someone who you cannot take lightly. Shin understands that, and even makes a little quip of, oh, I don't want you dying to a stray arrow or some lame kind of death, and Ohon just ignores him. But in any case, now we're on to Gyou'un, and again, the panelling of his eye and he's surveying the battlefield, you can really see that intensity. So, clearly, as I said last chapter, Gyou'un is regarding the Hi Shin Unit as somewhat of a threat, and so he is also organising and setting out his troops in the best way possible. Now, again, so aside from the newer members, struggling psychologically with battle, Hi Shin Unit is immediately caught off guard as Gyou'un apparently decides that he's best to send off a small detachment to attack the Hi Shin Unit. What's also interesting is that he can possibly be able to tell, maybe through the way they're organised, which troops are newer as opposed to the veteran troops. So, as the Hi Shin Unit is caught off guard with enemy cavalry heading towards the newer troops, and immediately it turns into an absolute slaughter. The newer troops, as expected, are not faring very well against the veteran cavalry units of Gyou'un's. And you have this one line from one of Gyou'un's, Gyou'un, who's just stating that you're the cowards who are trembling in the back. Die knowing that you've roused the wrath of Gyou'un somehow. We get one panel where a guy literally gets his head sliced in two. It reminded me of Parasite, actually. And God, yeah, you can just see how much of a difference it is between these elite, troops, veteran troops of Gyou'un, who, keep in mind here, he hasn't fought on the front lines for 12 years, though of course he was still stating to have his Ryan forces keep up regular drills. But damn, it's just hard to watch. But then tables tip, not turn per se, but tip to a slight extent. And finally we can see the newer troops beginning to fight back, though not before Kanto gets his chest almost crushed by a horse. Shin and Ten are getting concerned, really, how they're going to help the newer troops to cope with this onslaught. But here's where we get a hint of some more development, personality-wise, but also ability-wise, as it were, from Shin. Now, Shin asks Ten to not immediately rush in to try and save the newer troops who are suffering. He states that he has a feeling that our enemy is waiting to see if we allow ourselves to get unbalanced. Now, this is interesting if you look at this statement. What does he mean by that? Now, apparently Gyou'un and his troops were able to work out from a distance which of the Hi Shin Unit's troops were newer and therefore would be weaker. Now, to be fair, last Second Plains mention, I promise. Heki, back when he and Shin were riding along into the core of the Wei troops, Heki was able to pick out weak links which he could pierce with his cavalry in order to quickly get inside their formation. Now, this seems very similar to what Gyou'un has done. He's and his cavalry troops have been able to pinpoint the weak links in the Hi Shin unit, i.e. the newest members, and using their cavalry, they are able to effectively break through the initial front lines of the Hi Shin unit's force. So, back to Shin, he's also defending the decision not to immediately rush in to help the newer troops by stating that Ten should know that the Hi Shin unit ain't just that soft. And as I said earlier, we begin to see the gradual tipping of the tables here. Kanto is somehow still alive. Oh god, he nearly got his chest crushed, so well done Kanto, you're definitely resilient in that sense. But even so, they're still, scattered and unsure about how to respond here. But they notice that ultimately their troops are still breathing, battered and bruised, but breathing still, and they just need something to give them an opportunity. And of course, right as the Gyou'un troops are stating they're going to destroy all these bugs that are just crawling away, we get a lovely transition shot of an arrow straight through the eye, Harold Godwinson style. And here's Jin cutting away his arrows to support them. And soon enough he gets Tan into the battle as well. And again, Jin's able to understand that Tan still has his shortcomings, and so he states to him, if you can't aim at the human soldiers, then simply aim at the horses, which allows Tan to still develop positively and contribute to the battle. And here we have Kanto and the troops stating how they've saved their horses, and Kanto is able to rouse the troops effectively, stating that if they're not able to rouse themselves after a kid like Jin and Tan are giving them support, they better drop off out of the Hi Shin unit and run back to their farms. And here, Kanto fights back, stabbing those fallen Zhao soldiers. And I like that, even the brothers are stationed like, oh, what's all that talk and, that action, Kanto? You were the one just shaking just a minute ago and you just stabbed some guy who would already fallen anyway. But nonetheless, it provides the desired psychological effect. The other troops, like the Tom brothers, are roused. Their wounds aren't anything, they're saying, because we are the Hi Shin unit. Here we get the fight back. The cavalry units are finally getting overwhelmed by the swarming Hi Shin unit foot soldiers, and they even get a nice little reference to the Go or Wu formation back in the Deccan Plains. Okay, seriously, last time I'll mention Deccan Plains. And so they're forming the squads of 5 and working together to take out the cavalry units. And then when the cavalry units fall, they immediately take them down together. And this provides enough of a response that the Zhao cavalry under Gyou'un are forced to retreat. But just as they think they can escape, nope, you got Sugen and the vets. The veteran soldiers are there in formation, ready to trap them in their tracks. And I love got Sugen there just stating that he's not even going to let them leave in one piece once they set foot inside the Hi Shin unit's infantry. And so, back to Shin and Ten surveying the battlefield, they're able to work out that their newer troops are actually doing pretty well, things considered. And Ten notes that so long as they can grow accustomed to the battlefield, there's no telling how strong they'll become. And true, ultimately these newer units have unbound potential ahead of them, depending on whether they survive and how they can cooperate and respond in situations like these. Shin and 10 are now considering their next options. 10 drops a cryptic hint about what General Orson had said about the Gyou'un army, but soon we get the understanding that even Orson regards Gyou'un as a threat, given that they were one of the core pillars of the previous Three Great Heavens. Gyou'un was obviously a general underneath in charge of the Three Great Heavens, and as Shin states, he's a hero of the past. But then Shin, of course, as much as he might respect heroes of the past, whether it be the six great generals like Orki, or the wave fire dragons like Gaimor, and again with Gyou'un, who was associated with one of the Three Great Heavens, Shin proclaims that he'll defeat him and become a hero of our hero. And both Ten and Kyokai, we get their reactions, and they're clearly surprised, but nonetheless respecting Shin's ambition, as they always have. And finally, to get a little bit meta here, to end off the chapter, Ten stating that she's sure this war will be one that goes down in history, one that people will talk about for many years to come. And as Shin departs, she states that he should go and carve his name into history. It's a lovely panel of just the two of them looking back to one another, and I love showing that confidence and the respect, and it really shows you, the years of camaraderie, of friendship and mutual trust they have between them. That's a lovely way to end off the chapter. The final panel is a shot of the Hi Shin Unit flag, and Shin states that just to leave it to him, and next chapter we can be sure that Shin's going to be showing his stuff against Gyou'un. So overall, this was a great chapter. For me personally, who loves Candidate 10 as a character, we got a lot of good panels of her and showing her development in terms of working out her strategies, but at the same time showing that even though he's a strategist, 10 still has to deal with unexpected situations. Of course, this being the unexpected strength, or not so much unexpected strength, but the reaction time and the advantages of the Gyou'un cavalry. And of course, this chapter wasn't just Shin and 10. If anything, it was mainly concerned on the newer members of the Hi Shin Unit, Kanto and the others. But I like the fact that Kanto and the others, as I said before, it makes it realistic in the sense that they're not only are they foot soldiers, but they're newer troops who aren't, gonna just be steeled to the point where they're gonna immediately be able to go into battle and fight like nothing. No, when the Gyou'un cavalry come against them unexpectedly, they're really caught off guard and slaughtered for the most part at first, but ultimately it's through working together, inspiring one another, they're able to get back up and do their best against the cavalry. So ultimately, the battlefield is somewhat even in the Hi Shin Unit versus the Gyou'un cavalry, but now that Shin's personally going to go to the battlefield next chapter, really interesting. I'm hoping, as I did last chapter, we're finally going to get Shin versus Gyou'un one-on-one. We'll just have to wait and see. So in any case, great chapter. But don't forget to give me your thoughts down below and like this video.